Friends, the last full episode was on August 1st. It is now September the 25th. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's been a long ass time. We did have one episode in between there. What can I say? We're back. To keep everyone on track again, because we just had this discussion and people were remembering everything they forgot. The current storylines we need to catch up on are, if anyone wants to examine it, the ongoing trials of the youth on board this fleet. Yusuf still has yet to sell out the Duchess to Lachlan. There's going to be fallout from the Admiral's death, and there's going to be fallout from Baroness Khan declaring herself the new Admiral. Something we're going to see today, probably almost immediately, is the first fleet jump of our new Admiral, and getting the second part of the Trinary Code. For the folks at home, you may be wondering, which episode is this? I'd say this is YouTube, so you can just look at the title of the video, but if you're too lazy, I would say it's Battletech Oath of Endosteel, Season 3, Episode 3, 3028, Part 7, which will also be the last episode of Episode 3, because this will be the last episode set in 3038.
For a second, I thought you were just going to say this will be the last episode, and I was like, whoa, dropping it on us.
Listen, at the end of this episode, we're going to have to sit down and talk about scheduling, since we've had a long chunk of no one could make it, and I don't know if that's going to continue, but that is a talk for afterwards, because right now, we need to talk about this fleet.
Before we jump in, then I have an absolutely imperative question.
Yes.
Has Yusuf sworn fealty to the governess?
I believe he has sworn loyalty to
only the Lachlan, right?
Whittington through Lachlan.
Right. Okay, but no, yeah, exactly. I have never sworn spirit. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure, because that would totally change the direction of today's session. Okay, good. Anyways, let's jump into this trip stuff.
The question you have to ask yourself is he is only acting as her regent. And she will be a woman grown soon enough. All right. Those are questions you don't give a shit about. Is there any plot we want to follow first?
Me.
Yeah, let's start
I'm
with
selfish.
Yusuf. Yeah.
I do remember last session I had a bit of a backseat, so I'd be happy to step forward to get the first one. All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm going to be catching Lachlan. Normally I catch him in his office, but he's really busy all the time. Lachlan, what do you do to... You're probably like, rather than you be in your office, straight over your desk in a suit or something like that, can I catch you at in a lounge or something like that, where you're reading over reports or something at night rather than necessarily during the day?
What if it's at the gym?
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, no, I honestly was thinking about. Okay, yeah.
Because you're
running or rowing? Are you a rower?
Don't you have to work out? Well, I imagine Lachlan has to keep in decent shape to just be able to pilot a mech without killing himself. But then the other thing is don't you have to probably do some kind of weight training or something to maintain your body?
It's absolutely a problem. You all have lost a considerable amount of weight on this journey.
That's right.
You're almost a full year in. It's almost 39.
So yeah, cool. He's doing whatever. I think there's probably some pre-approved.
No. Hang on.
Keep your body mass training course. Yeah, sorry.
Right. Okay. No. Can you be spotting me, because this way my life is literally in your hands?
Sure.
Oh my god.
Cool. Awesome. All
right. That's a question. How do you think spotting works when there's no down gravitational force?
Good point.
Oh, it's probably it's probably a machine system, so it's not just a free bar.
Okay,
it's you know what I mean? You've seen those bench press machines.
Listen, I'm being a bit facetious. In any situation where you have a bunch of free floating weights in space, you definitely want to have a spotter. I just didn't want you to think that you were doing this with free, because you're gonna go like this, and then you're gonna keep going. You're gonna press yourself off of the bench.
Man alive.
You just start sailing across the gym.
Someone needs to be up there in 0G training,
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, Lachlan, I come to you with some news.
Oh?
Indeed. I believe that the governess is has a power base that you're not made aware of yet.
I see. I, of course, serve at the pleasure of the Duchess.
Of course. And I serve at the pleasure of you.
Agreed.
So,
tell me more.
Thank you. It's concerning the youths of my ship. She's seeking to give them military training and develop a loyalty system for them so they can serve and protect her. I've seen this before in other worlds, largely for rebellions, but in this case, and sometimes though for dictators maintaining power. Something you should keep an eye on.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I think that you should help the Duchess guide and lead these people to be worthy protectors and to make sure that they, like you, understand the hierarchy of power. They and yourself serve at my pleasure and I at the Duchess's. Do we understand each other?
Yeah. Back the weights. Yeah, I think we have an understanding.
Good.
I'll handle this and keep you appraised.
Excellent. And Yusuf.
Yes.
You did well bringing this to me. I'll keep that in mind in the future.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I could help you with?
No. Would I call you my lord? Or your grace?
What is the... He's
You're
a
like
count, right? There's probably a specific... Let's find out what the specific...
It can't be your grace. Your grace would be for like a duke or a king. So you're just my lord.
Probably.
Because I serve you. My liege, right? Wouldn't be technically it.
Duke is your grace. So the Duchess we would call her grace.
Correct.
Yeah, count is lord. Counts and earls get lord. Lord or lady. Okay. Yeah, so
right.
you'd probably call
my
it
lord. Okay. And I would like to remind you, my lord, and I've sworn no fealty to her grace. Only through you. As I give you like a bow thing, basically saying like I'm absolutely in your pocket.
Yeah. He like acknowledges that very clearly, and I think like with a bit of like a knowing smile says, of course. I appreciate your loyalty. And through me, the Duchess appreciates your loyalty. Never forget, we do serve her after all.
I appreciate your sea bills.
Yeah. I think Lachlan will probably like, I don't know. I feel like he's too much of a drama queen to like stay and finish his workout after that. So he probably leaves.
For sure.
Like
it's the perfect time to finish.
He feels obliged to like make the dramatic exit, even though it's like probably like obvious to you. It's like, well, that's
I got like 4 more sets.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh well. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, the spin class instructor's like, is Lachlan joining us?
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, that's
cool. Yeah, it's a scene, man.
Yeah, that's excellent. It's because it, obviously it's all like a fiction, but it's very important to Lachlan to keep up this fiction that's like, oh no, the Duchess is really in charge. I'm just helping.
Oh yeah, I know. I know it's a good refresher of our beliefs for our characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Should we jump over to a little Anko?
Sure.
Have you taken knowledge, dropship operations, jump ship operations, fleet operations? Did you take any of them?
I just grabbed all three.
How much in
I had
each of
enough
them?
points. I grabbed enough points to get at least one rank in each, and then I got 2 ranks in knowledge fleet operations.
Nice.
That is a good plan. It has been hours since the brutal judgment rendered against Admiral Philip LeBeau. Your steward, the ensign aboard your Confederate, Nathaniel Cornerstone Manassas, has pulled you aside several times to quietly explain to you rumors among the crew. It seems like your upcoming jump may be of vital importance. There is hope among the crew that you can rise to the standards set by Admiral LeBeau, but you have yet to have demonstrated any knowledge in astrogation, jump procedures, zero-G operations, dropship knowledge, jump ship knowledge, fleet operations. There is a somewhat resentment that you are a rich, noble person who thinks you know how to do anything, and you decided to personally take over operations here, and their lives depend. You're almost a year away from civilization, and the closest safe harbor just shot your commanding officer in the face.
Yeah, that's
like
it's not looking good.
You have to go past the edge of human knowledge. You have to go to a system no one has ever jumped to before.
Right.
That's jump course is only theoretical. Someone has to plot that, triple check it, and then the Admiral gives the final go-ahead that you all will eventually jump there. And not only do you have to jump there, you have to go all the way back home at the end of that. That's assuming Lachlan doesn't keep you out here forever looking for this mythical treasure or your own quest for the Tesoro dos Todos.
Lachlan's not crazy. That whale is crazy.
This is a man who wants a king crab and he's not going home without one.
Yeah.
Now this is all being explained to you by Ensign Manassas, who, is pulling you into like supply closets to explain it conspiratorially. Don't worry, my lady, I'll look out for you. I'll make sure to bring you any information about what's going on the lower decks.
Oh man. I'm just taking a note. Ensign Manassas is rumor mongering. No, I was kidding.
He's trying to save your life.
As
far as you know.
Yeah.
He may also be trying to save the lives of everyone on board this fleet.
Yeah. I mean,
I
think
all
it's full
died. They've sacrificed themselves for the greater good.
You'll be dead too, Lachlan.
Oh.
That's a problem.
Now it's a problem for him.
Right. So yeah, I think Anko is obviously going right into things. She's been in her what would you call like the admiral's kind of like office?
Ready room?
Yeah.
The ready room? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so she's been in that ready room basically nonstop pouring over the astrogation. Oh my god.
Astrogation.
Astrogation, thank you.
Yep.
Astrogation charts, reviewing kind of LeBeau's previous mappings of the stars they've explored.
Fortunately for you, LeBeau has left incredibly intricate notes about the path he believes that you should take.
Yeah. And
he has also included several alternative routes just in case Lachlan wanted to do something like drop by a planet that might contain life that might also be a secret Comstar refueling base.
Right. And basically did a crash course with
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but real quick. We were out here. We ran into them because we were trying to get food, right?
Yes.
Did we ever get that food?
They have given you prepackaged meal kits.
Good.
Like lots of them.
Yeah.
I remember.
At least we got something.
Yeah.
Now it should be noted that the crew aboard Captain Dawson's boat can only eat a preordained regimen of food, which discludes any foods that might excite the senses. So he is taking his portion and negotiating to get stale hardtack and such rations from other crews. He doesn't want anyone eating any of the pineapple and getting too excited and worked up.
Yeah. Okay. So with Anko's kind of like delve into these charts. Now, I imagine because Anko is naturally curious and has been in this kind of position before where she needed to be knowledgeable about something that she wasn't previously. She had been kind of shadowing the admiral before this passing.
Sure.
And that's kind of how I'm justifying these point buys and to the knowledge that I needed to have. So it's not as jarring as a step up in some way, shape, or form, but definitely leaning a bit on the existing crew and the Commander Meacham as well as Exo Whelan.
I believe my notes say that last episode you replaced your executive officer with Kate Meacham.
Yep. Yeah.
Previous executive officer, he hasn't been demoted, but his duties have changed now. He's just he is a logistical officer instead of the executive officer.
Right. And I feel like part of that is because of the bond that Meacham and Anko have formed.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely looking to both of them and leveraging their expertise, and also their connection with the crew on a deeper level. I think one of the things that she would institute is kind of like an admiral office hours of some sort, so that any crew member could come and talk to her if they wanted to.
One executive officer immediately suggests that you never do that and don't talk to anyone about that.
Okay.
It's the executive officer's job to receive those and process it for you.
That's right.
Your job is not to listen to Steve in engineering about an ice cream shortage. That's Kate Meacham's job. And if that ice cream shortage becomes a morale problem critical to the operation of this ship, that is when you'll hear it from her. Your job is not to spend 20 minutes listening to Steve from engineering about a meaningless problem.
Somebody hasn't watched 4 hours of Carrier Admiral POV YouTube videos.
Literally, I'm just flashing now to Star Trek because that's, I think, the closest I've had to that kind of level.
Please, God, no. Let me tell you something. Star Trek doesn't know anything about military operations. Okay, maybe.
Well, they're not a military. They're not a military. They're basically not even the Coast Guard. They're like the scout program.
I love the fucking Star Trek movies where Picard is like on the outside of the ship with blaster rifles, which are somehow more dangerous than phaser rifles, or just the like little phasers. And they're like, yes, we shall advance across the vessel to kill the Borg.
They're bigger, yeah.
They're bigger.
They basically walk in the open, right? It's like every time you see a Klingon fighting with a Battletech, they're like, we have to clang these together 3 times, and then I'll hit you really hard with it, and you won't bleed. You'll be knocked back, even though it's a blade.
Well, I think fight choreography in those days was very primitive.
Let me tell you about Princess Bride, okay? Princess Bride.
Okay, fair.
I'm not saying every episode of Star Trek needed to be at all right, anyway.
Not everyone can be Inigo Montoya.
Okay,
the whole reason why I brought that up wasn't because they were accurate with their military operations. It was more that it was an example that I thought of as soon as you said, like, the XO actually manages the crew, and then the captain is kind of like the bridge to that. So I think instead of office hours to The crew, it's more of like
officer hours.
Officer hours. Yes, yes. So the officers would immediately be brought in, and like we would kind of come up with a game plan of how we were going to smoothly transition the crew over to this new structure.
I would like you to make a bunch of rolls real quick. And I'm so glad that you only have 3 plot points and a limited pool of edge to make 4 rolls. You're going to have to decide what order you want to pull these off in, and that will tell you how important they are to you. I need you to make a navigation roll, dropship operation, jump ship operation, and fleet operation roll.
Okay, so dropship operation,
jump ship
operation, and fleet, and navigation.
Navigation is to follow. Navigation is going to be the easiest. It's going to be to follow the course that's already been laid out.
Got it.
But it's also the one that if you fuck up, probably
you could be sent backward or forward in time, or just die outright.
I don't have a skill in navigation.
Can I take navigation?
Sure.
I mean, Lachlan's been like it's been a long time since Lachlan's been working on these like different coordinates and points that Xenia found. So
go ahead.
I think the sign of a good leader is proper delegation. So they will lean into their.
Well, let me ask you a question. You want to delegate it to Lachlan, or do you want to delegate it to professionals who've done this their whole life?
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Lachlan.
Of course, Lachlan. It's the one I trust.
First off, Lachlan, because he's better at everything than everyone.
Yeah,
he's
that's what I'm worried about. Is if that you're a noble, really do think that you're better than everyone at these things. Yeah.
No. Okay. Who is my expert in astrogation and navigation?
There's a whole fleet. There's like 6 or 7 people. One at least
I would
one,
be making a leadership role for that.
There's no need to make a leadership role for them. This is their job.
Okay.
Normally, they would expect LeBeau to hand them numbers and they would cross-check it. But if you just tell them to do it, it is their job to do it. LeBeau was just good at it because he was smart as fuck.
Got it. Okay.
No one will think it's weird if you ask someone else to plot the jump calculations at all.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I'll end up doing.
The rest of those roles will be very odd because this is the job you signed up for.
This is the job of the Admiral,
is to make sure all the drop ships are tucked away and ready to go. Jump ship operations is to bring the solar sail in and have the crew all at their ready stations for the jump, just in case something goes wrong. And fleet operations is to make sure all the other jump ships are also ready to jump and not fucking around, and that you'll all arrive at roughly the same location within touching distance without merging your ships together accidentally.
All right.
Which, by the way, can happen. You can jump into other ships. Yeah, it's bad. It's only described as happening once, and the results were grotesque.
Oh, dear. All right. So let's see. I think to start, I want to make sure. Yeah, so I'm going to delegate the navigation as I have not yet come up with that. And LeBeau already had plots for this, so we roughly know where we want to go. And he's done the crunching. I feel like the first that makes sense is fleet operations to get everyone into position and make sure that everything's going smoothly. Because, well, to be clear, it's like dropship operation is like the management of the dropships, right?
Yep. Yeah. The dropship's attached to the jump ship you're currently on.
Oh. So then what does fleet operations
fleet operations is to make sure everybody in the fleet is on the same page. Okay, let me tell you what happens if you fail these roll. If you fail dropship operations, bad shit will happen on one of the dropships. It's not like it'll be left behind, but something will break during the jump. Cargo will be loose and go flying, that sort of thing. If you fail jump ship operations, this one is very bad. This is probably the worst possible one to fail. It will have immensely bad consequences. If you do not bring the solar sail in correctly, you may be stranded out here forever.
Got it.
If you fail fleet operations, your fleet will be scattered around whatever sun you're about to jump to. If you fail it bad enough, you may arrive, some of your fleet members may arrive at a different sun.
Oh, this is great.
You know how some people are like never push the database to production sort of deal?
Oh yeah.
You'll send them old numbers and they'll make the jump and they'll go to the wrong place and they'll be looking and going, where's everybody else? And you'll be going, where the hell are they? But because you have no way to communicate with each other, the only possible thing you can do is both of you jump back.
Yep, wasting fuel and all kinds of other things.
Yeah,
yep.
wasting. I mean, it's a waste of at least 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
That's assuming everybody jumps back safely, because each one of these jumps is a risk.
There you go.
Let's go ahead and make some rolls.
All right. So let's see. I think to start, we'll go with the dropship operations.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that 5 was so close. Okay, 6 plus 4 is 10.
Okay.
Is that what I needed to beat to like do things safely, or do I need to get higher?
There will be a minor accident. Non-lethal.
Ooh.
The 1 is a pretty like 1 in 5. The 1 is a pretty like high statistical reroll, right?
Improve,
because like the 5 is such a high number that you only really need to get like a 2 or 3 to have things do much better.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna use a point of what is it? It's been a while. What is it called again?
There's edge that you can just spend,
plot
and
points.
then plot points that you give to AP if you spend.
Yeah. Just because I want to make sure that I have that edge left over, because I know it can roll more things. Well, no, plot points can like prevent bad accidents from happening, right?
So edge lets you re-roll 1 or both dice, and I think plot points only let you re-roll both dice.
Really? Oh,
I think that's how it works. I'm checking. Edge definitely is you re-roll 1 or both at your choice.
Plot points also the one that lets you just give yourself a +1 if you need it, right?
Yes. You can choose to do that after the roll.
Okay. Let me use the edge then. So I'm going to re-roll the 1.
Oh yeah,
that's much better.
Okay, what's your new
All right,
total?
so 9 plus 4 is 13.
Okay, good enough.
All right. Next, I want to make sure fleet operations is going smoothly.
Okay. You're saving the big one for last.
Yeah.
Plot points requires you to re-roll the whole dice roll, by the way. So.
Oh, okay.
So you had to use edge to do that.
Got it. So 7 plus 5 is 12.
You have stowed the solar sail within a time the crew would find reasonable.
Okay.
It's certainly not setting any records, and it's definitely slower than the crew's standard reaction, but you wouldn't embarrass yourself if you were taking a jump ship license test.
Got it.
Your crew.
This is basically me doing that.
You crawled across the line of what you needed, and the crew now respects at this point that you are not some charlatan noble who is just chosen as a lark to do this.
That's good to know.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
now comes the role where the lives of everyone in the fleet depend on you to succeed.
Don't fuck up. I'm waiting for you.
You're going to do great, buddy. You're going to do great. No fear.
It's just going to be snake eyes.
One fear. What are the odds of rolling 4 ones?
Oh man!
Didn't that happen to fucking Jasper? We were all
all right. That looks like
no fear.
What's your total?
That's
man.
15.
Oh, that's great.
That's how I died.
And if it makes a difference, I will use a plot point to bump that to a 16. If it makes a difference.
Yes, it will make a difference. It will make a degree of success difference. All right. So people are eagerly awaiting your commands. They aren't sure you're ready for fleet command, and you begin directing like, get that cargo stowed away. I want to see everybody in position. Get that jump ship a whole kilometer closer to us. You think this looks like a formation? You triple check the numbers with everybody. You make sure that Captain Dawson, who has been basically trolling all of the Khanites trolling all of the Liboites the whole time, because he's good. He is openly gleeful that Libo is dead. His ship is named the Christian, so it should be no surprise that he's not a fan of Comstar. But he certainly is no stranger to religious justice executing a filthy, heretical pirate.
Yeah. Do I in some way like put him in his place?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. He's like on the comms with a glass of wine, just like trolling some crew member on one of your ships, and you just cut in and you're like, Dawson, I need you to move 250 meters onto my flank, and if your ready 5 isn't ready in 5, we're gonna have words.
Yeah, and I kind of imagine, like, before we make the jump, or before like all these preparations are done, as we're getting ready, I just say, make it so.
All right, this filthy memer. You jump, and you jump again, and you jump again, and you keep jumping. Weeks pass as you continue jumps deeper and deeper. You arrive one jump out of your destination for the second part of the Trifid code, a system called Karkri. It was named by the Star League Explorer Corps when they came out this way. No one has ever, to your knowledge, been to the system of Karkri.
Yeah, I think immediately we would send out some level of scouts to kind of like start updating charts and making sure that we have some level of scans of the system. I'm basically assuming, like, this is standard operation when we're entering into a new space. People are and it's like very forceful, very on point, and just like on the beat. Anko's just letting out commands to all of our subordinates.
People are gathering all the data they need to make the next jump. It's a little nerve-wracking. It's not like something like this hasn't ever been done before, right? Like, the people who made the first jumps obviously did this, but it should be noted the success rate of a blind jump like this is not great. You know, if you said it had a 99 success rate, everyone would be sitting there thinking about, but what if I roll a 1 sort of deal, right? On the other hand, this kind of jump is something someone only does like once a century nowadays.
And I think that's what Anko says, like, when we succeed, because we've succeeded, right? Correct?
If you guys are ready to jump to Karkri, you let me know. That will move forward the story. This has just been the passage of time to get you here.
Got it. I was more just gonna like try to boost morale with some sort of speech saying like, this is something.
Yeah, morale's fine right now.
Well, more just like in my command.
I guess there's probably something that I would do, because it takes a long time to do all this preparation, right, before they jump.
So in each system you jump to, you have to get the whole fleet back together again. It's never 100% accurate between all the ships. Right. They have to come together either directly over or directly under the sun. Then they have to unfurl their solar sails to get a trickle charge of electricity for about 7 days. And then they have to plot. During that time, they make the plot calculation for the next jump.
Got it. So, like, during that time, I have something that I want to do. Two things. One is Lachlan just wants to organize some system where the kids get the food that they can eat and the other people get the food that they can eat, and there's no like trade and bartering, whatever. That doesn't need to be happening.
Okay.
And I think the other thing is, in service, now that he's heard this interesting news from Yusuf, he, I think, is gonna go he's like gonna probably spend some time like talking to the kids and like trying to get to know them a little bit, and like just like doing the Godfather thing and like, giving kids like a little candy or whatever, and like tried to basically make them start to think of him as sort of like a good guy, this kind of like honorable benefactor.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you use your kids to do this? Do you use them as your acolytes and spears?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Dude, that's incredible.
I would like you real quick to make a knowledge parenting roll.
Okay, I'm going to have to spend some points at this. And I think
I just want to tell you, if you succeed at this, nothing bad happens. If you fail, something bad happens. This is a roll to save off the consequences.
My kind of roll.
Using Sam's your children as weapons.
Yeah, Sam is literally like, oh, finally.
And this is not resentful for today. This is in 10 years, they're going to realize you did this to them and use them.
So
mechanically, we don't need this skill. Sorry.
To be clear, I think it's maybe almost like Lachlan is like trying to pitch this to them as like, this is how you learn to do what daddy does.
Yeah.
This is how you learn. Like, you have to practice these political games with these like, pointless, inconsequential people, so that when you enter the great game, you can do it well.
Right,
like,
I'm telling you right now, that's a flat 14.
I'm paying your tuition to the School of Hard Knocks.
It's a slightly more difficult role than normal.
Okay.
Hell yeah, dude.
Knowledge parenting. How much,
dude? You're Tywin Lannister, motherfucker. I love you. It's so good. Are you just skinning a deer in zero G as you're telling them this?
Exactly.
You are my son, and you will do this. Yeah.
All right. So my stat is at 3 because it's knowledge. How much does it cost to get each skill? It's 1.5 times rounded up,
unlock
right?
The first one, I believe.
So it's 2 for the first one.
God.
Yeah.
Then 3 for the second one.
I'm looking it up. Character advancement, improving skills, page 77. This question comes up every single time.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't play enough.
A new skill.
I think it's 1.5 times.
The new skill is 2 XP, and then it's 1.5 to level it up. So to go from 1 to 2 is still 2. So it's 2, right? No, it's 2, 3, 5, and you have to pay at each one, right?
2, 3, 5.
So it's 2 to
get
unlock
to
level
3,
1.
it would be 10. To get to 3 and 1, it would be 10.
Yes.
All right. I will spend 10 XP.
Ooh, look at Mr. Big Spender over here. Been holding on to that daddy bonus. All right.
I have 12 XP. So.
Make the roll, Godfather.
Let's see how this goes. All right, so I'm going to have a +6 in this. And we shall see how it goes.
Because those are double 6 dice, you may want to roll at least 2 to 3 times just so you get, some variability there. Fuck, that's a really good roll, huh?
9 + 6 is 15. If I go up to 16, is that
It'll be a degree of success. It's 2 points, so it'll be a degree of success.
I would like to spend the plot point to do so.
I will allow you to pick one of your 3 children that are here. They have become Dark Triad Machiavellian as a result. This is years of training to become like Lachlan. One of them is your primogenitor heir. They have inherited whatever craven knowledge has made you what you are.
Oh God! All right, wait. So, how old are each of them? Celeste is like 12.
So hold on. I have the list here, but everybody's at least a year, possibly 2 years older. Okay. Let's assume it's 30, 39 right now because it's almost Christmas. So let's just assume so Harmony is 17, Celeste is 13, and your twins are 11.
Okay. I think...
Now just know, if you do this to Celeste, you'll also have to play Celeste as a political monstrosity psychopath.
As a ruthless political. So I'm going back and forth because part of it makes me think it's very juicy if the bastard is the political schemer. But I feel like we've given like a lot. I don't know. We focused a lot on Celeste, and we haven't really like expanded out on like who the others are very much. I mean, obviously Menelaus is like probably a little too young to like really have to do that. But I like the idea that Athena Menshikov is the real political schemer. And then we can in the future do something like her trying to just basically take Angus's inheritance as well so that she can get both the houses or some nonsense.
Oh my god. Well, that's very Battletech. That's very Catherine Steiner Davian of her.
Yeah, she can become Athena Menshikov McDougal.
Listen, if we wanted to go real Game of Thrones, she could just end up marrying her brother in a secret ceremony.
Well, her brother has to marry the Duchess.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, sure, maybe.
Oh, trust me, Lachlan will make sure that happens.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Athena learns it's the name of her father. So, I think that Celeste, being the obedient spirit that she is, guided by her mother Rosamund, agrees to do this despite the fact that she knows that it probably isn't right. She does not, however, immediately snitch to the Duchess, who she is sworn to serve. She has some loyalty to her original family. Angus doesn't understand what's going on in the at a high level. What he understands is that he's a good kid, and his dad, who's the best guy in the world, who brought him on this awesome trip that everyone's telling him, like, this is really cool, and when you're grown up, like, you'll understand how cool this is. Like, you don't even know how cool this is, kid. He's learned all sorts of stuff. He's learned how to play cards. He's learned swear words. This trip has been amazing. He got to see a real Battlemech fight from the top of the dropship. He got to see his dad, like, kick ass and, like, burn a bunch of weird goo. There have been some scary times and some stuff has happened, and he got through that. He thinks he's real shit at 11 years old. He's about to go into that rebellious teen phase, but he's not. He's not there yet. He still thinks dad is number one. Dad's great. It's time to do what dad asked him to do, which is make friends. Now, you know, he's a little prince, right? He's been raised since birth that he's nobility. He still just makes friends with people. It's just something he does. He's a good, kind soul. For Athena, this is her first attempt to manipulate and control people. She has been asked to turn these wretched orphan children to the side of House McDougal and House Menshikov, and like a spider unfurling her manipulations in the way that only an 11-year-old who is absolutely terrible at this but thinks they're great at it begins to do. I mean, this is some real shit where she would steal, you know, some cookies and then leave the crumbs in her brother's bed and then call mom and be like, look, my brother stole some cookies. Isn't that bad? Sort of like 5-head plays that once it happens a few times, everyone will catch on to the fact that she's a little psycho. But for now, no one's there yet except for you. You're noticing some patterns of behavior in your daughter.
Lachlan is so proud.
Okay.
Oh God, yeah, he's very pleased, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to do before the jump.
All right, Jasper, anything for you before a couple days out of Christmas before you jump into Karkri?
No, not really. I was thinking about maybe doing something with my Merc Bros.
They're feeling closer to you.
Why?
Well, previously you had some distance, of course.
Yeah.
You played some cards with them, and that brought you a little bit closer. the death of Philip LeBeau has proven that the people outside of these jump ships cannot be trusted at all. And that while they might complain about you and think that you're a hard ass, they could be in combat literally anytime they jump. And maybe your stick up the ass procedures might not be as bad an idea as they think.
Okay. Well, that's actually assuring. That's kind of what I was hoping for.
Now, look, they're still filthy, ruthless mercenaries.
Yeah, of course.
Drink tequila in their mech cockpits because they're not allowed to drink on board the ship. But
yeah, because it's sovereign territory for them. Yeah, I know. I love that. But very much so. Yeah, no, I want to emphasize. I mean, it's not like they really need this lesson to given to them, given their backgrounds. But as a mercenary, you must care about money first. And that if you would give, and not so like, I'm just saying also as a leader, if they were ever given an offer from another mercenary company that's better than the offer that I'm giving to them, I'll write them a personal recommendation, each of them, for their service with me so far.
Okay. I thought you were gonna Tyrion Lannister it and be like, I'll double it.
Nah, I'm also a cheapskate. But also, yeah, Ben.
All right. Anko, anything you want to do?
Yeah, I think really just wanted to note that because this does take time, I think that at this final jump, there's very, very much like an anticipation, right? And I feel like Anko like has her youngest son here, Jasper, and it's one of those things where because it's been a couple of weeks, right, making these jumps, just to kind of like gauge the time. So like I think like at this last jump where the final destination, it's either sink or swim, and she wants Jasper to witness this command and like kind of how things work in the black in some way, shape, or form. So having them strapped into like, I don't know if this is like totally against protocol or totally against like something that's possible, but having them strapped into a chair in the command deck, just like witnessing kind of like the movement of people working together as a team to make this jump happen.
Okay.
And then I think like as we make preparations for the final jump, Anko would kind of open comms to the rest of the fleet, and just take a moment to address them and say, if there is any fleet, any crew that can face down the blackness of the periphery with splendor, it is this fleet. Let us make our ancestors and those we've lost proud in exploring the unknown. Make it so.
Okay. Before we jump, I'd like to give a short speech to the audience at home. In looking up weird, cool micro shit that I could put into all of my Battletech stuff, I ran across a pretty interesting thing. It's a really, really racist interpretation of a military unit, and I'm going to try to redeem that today. It's written, the unit itself isn't racist. The way it is viewed in the world of Battletech is written by someone who is a racist. You can look it up on the wiki after I reveal what that unit is. I don't know why I'm laughing. This isn't the first time this has happened.
There's too many. I don't know which one.
Yeah, just this week in Battletech, I learned that they were like the first writings on House Davian, like the initial source books and stuff, were like, there used to be racism in the Federated Suns. Then they outlawed all of the racist laws, and there was never any racism in the Federated Suns ever again. And I was like, wow, that's a very 1980s Midwest interpretation of how racism laws work. Once you get rid of them, there's no racism anymore.
Tough.
That was some real early 2000s racism is over shit.
Oh, man.
they've apparently taken a step back with that with the recent House Davian source book, where they're like, racism definitely still exists and is a continued struggling problem in House Davian. And I don't know how they could ever not have that, because in the books, House Davian is constantly just like, oh, you're Japanese? You're dog shit.
Tough.
Wow.
People are like, oh, you use a samurai sword instead of a long sword? Get fucked. So, you all jump into the system. Alarms begin blaring. And Anko, I need you to make a leadership roll, because there are 3 people shouting things at you at the same time.
Oh, great.
Depending on how well you roll, I will tell you what one or more of them is actually saying over top of the alarms and each other.
That's a 9 plus 7, so it's a 16.
Okay, you get everything. Someone standing right beside you is saying, ma'am, there are 6 incoming aerospace fighters that were in patrol over the local Mercurial closest planet to the sun. They have diverted toward us immediately. I'm trying to get a sensor lock on them. They appear to be a black wasp. I don't know what that is. It's not, the war book only contains the name, not any specification about them. A person at the front end of the jump ship is shouting, jump complete, fleet is all together. And a third person to your left is saying, we're getting communications, ma'am. A message on a loop. We have been locked onto by a dropship. A Pentagon class dropship has immediately turned and begun a 5.5 G burn towards us. And everybody is listening to all of this, and when they hear 5.5 G burn, people are like going pale. And someone pulls out a cross and begins kissing it.
Because that's like unheard of in the current fleet.
5G is the limit of human whiteout. At 5.5 G, everybody aboard that ship should be unconscious.
Oh.
So it's another fucking AI.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Okay. I do have what is it? Tech empathy.
I think I have that too.
And then I do have like no, I don't have knowledge like ancient tech or anything like that. But basically Anko's, so we got a communication saying what?
You have no idea what it said. Yeah. He just said we are getting a communication.
Okay.
What in the name of Jerome Blake did we just step into?
Yeah. Okay, so I think like first step, scramble the fighters.
Okay.
And disperse and like spread out. Well, no.
Scramble the fighters.
Scramble the fighters and get into a defensive formation. We don't know what's coming. And then second step would be someone get on deciphering that message. Determine if it's hostile. And then the third would be is there any recognition of where we are and what ships those are? Like, okay. So do I know what the Pentagon class ship is?
I will let you make a very difficult science check, or I will let you make a either knowledge Star League or knowledge ancient history check.
Okay. And I would know that Lachlan has some inkling with that stuff, so I would definitely communicate to him.
Do you have either of those skills? I very much doubt it, but
what I know that that Lachlan has some knowledge of ancient tech. I don't know if
I have tech mech.
Oh,
so I know a lot about like old
I will
mechs
let
and shit.
you take tech mech to no. These aren't mechs. These are mechs. No. No chance. No shot.
Yeah, I that's why I can't bring it up.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had like ancient tech or tech mech. I couldn't remember. Okay. So yeah, I think that order of operations, and then yes, I would like to see if I can recognize those, or if anyone in the fleet, basically like get me information on what's coming at us, basically. Then try to think myself as well.
They agree with that order. They immediately turn to the war book, which is identifying 1 Panicon class dropship and 6 Black Wasp aerospace fighters, and there's no other information about either of those in those war book. They are the last recorded interaction with either of those craft was hundreds of years ago. Almost all data about them's been lost.
Got it. Okay.
Colson, let me ask you a question. You came out here looking for the secrets of the Star League Defense Force.
Yeah.
You're about to find some.
Okay. So like I feel like that's Anko's first inclination is like we found something in Star League.
Oh yeah. Definitely you did.
You know when like the Nazis opened the fucking Holy Ark? That's what I feel like we just fucking ran into.
Oh, did we find whatchamacallits? When
I hear a dropship class that I've never heard of before, I'm terrified. My guess is some of Mars Civil War shit that I have no lore on.
And then I think there's certainly are they on an intercept course like 100%?
Yes, both of them are.
Is it an attack formation that we can recognize?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what a non-attack formation would look like.
Yeah. No hard 5G burn towards you is friendly.
I think then I would like the last thing. So we've got scramble the fighters. We've got put the fleet in defensive formation, and prepare for attack. And then we've got, and in that case, that would basically be drop ships separating from the jump ships, or because we technically have the ability for one of our jump ships to jump.
That would leave everyone else behind. But
yeah,
yes.
I know. Yeah, so I think
that would be condemning everyone else basically to what you would assume to be death.
Yeah,
you can do it if you want to.
Well, it's better to have half a fleet than no fleet. So if it comes worst case scenario, that was one thing I was considering.
Are you ordering LeBeau's jump ship to unveil its secret lithium battery and make a double jump?
No, not yet.
Because you don't have you haven't even begun. So here's the thing.
Learn that thing.
You have jumped out here, right? Based off of data somebody else has sent you, and then calculations you've done. Right. No one, to your knowledge, right up until this moment, no one that you know of has ever been here. So you don't know how to jump back. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't just input the numbers in backwards. You have to figure out where you are stellar cartography wise and like realign the moons. It's going to take way longer than 10 minutes. It's going to take way longer than a week. It's going to be a long time before you make the jump back. You can always attempt a blind jump though. There's a 50% chance you just automatically fail.
Seems bad.
Does.
Have we tried to see what the communication was? You said we couldn't understand it.
They can't understand it, and I've got someone trying to process it.
I'm going to tell you why they can't understand it, because the people on board this jump ship don't speak Japanese.
Doesn't Anko?
Yeah, Anko didn't read the message personally. They believe it's a coded missive and are trying to break it down.
Okay. I mean, one of the things I was going to say, AP, is like, give me the message.
Okay, you immediately read it. You're like, what? How the fuck did you guys have problems with this? It said, says, greetings from the 44th Corps, 16th Army, 124th Royal Heavy Assault Regiment. This is the last Star League outpost. We welcome you in peace. please broadcast your intentions immediately and prepare to be scanned. If you do not reply to this message within 60 standard Terran minutes, you will be fired upon by a SDS. The nuclear option is enabled.
So as Anko receives this message, she calls out and says, "Hold the scramble."
Oh, it's way too late for that, man. The fighters are already out. There's at least 2 fighters from every drop ship that has them that are already out the door.
Fair enough. Well, she would immediately give me the comms, and I will communicate. It seems they are speaking in Japanese.
Everybody's like, everyone's super confused because that's not really a standardized language for deep space.
This is a Star League outpost that we've uncovered.
That is okay. So we just went from speaking Japanese. So, like, I want you to understand that, like, incredibly mythical shit. First, you were like, "Yeah, we just stumbled upon King Arthur," and then you were like, "Also, his fairy knights are there," and actually, it's a bridge to Avalon, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
And she will say, "We come in exploration. We from the I don't know if I would say like where we're from. I think I would just say we come in exploration and in peace."
About 16 minutes later, all of the dropship begins turning itself around and slowing to a 1G burn towards you. The 6 Black Wasps, they shutter their weapon ports and move into what you think might be a Star League Defense Force parade formation for escort.
Wow.
It's gonna be a little while. It's gonna be like 20 more minutes before they're on you. But you get a message from someone. He is wearing a huge, is it called a Stetson, where it's like the huge cowboy hat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
A kimono, and he's got a samurai sword over his shoulder, and he's holding one in front of him, and in a incredible accent, atrocious Japanese, he says, "Konbanwa, Baroness Khan. I am Colonel Goku. I welcome you to Karkree, the last free Star League outpost. You're the first people we've seen in about 250 years. You still speak English out there?"
Yes, we do.
Okay, so he switches to English. He goes, "Oh, thank God." No, he wouldn't say thank the commie. I am the central coordinator for this regiment.
It is a pleasure to meet you. We're following.
Now, just note, every one of these messages takes 16 minutes round trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, it is a pleasure to meet you. We are an expedition fleet, exploring the periphery of what we know, seeking answers to signals that we had uncovered. My name is Anko Khan, and this is our fleet. Actually, do we have a name for this fleet already? Okay.
You tell me.
Yeah,
Whittington Exploratory Fleet or something.
The WEF? Ooh, that's a rough one.
Yeah. The whiff. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll think about that one.
You don't need to make up a cool name for your fleet, just to be clear.
Yes, we do, AP. We do need to make a cool name. We look forward to your hospitality and to learn how you've been out here for so long on your own.
The next time you see him, he is in a pretty close approximation to a Star League Defense Force outfit. the whites. He has a rank insignia on his shoulder for colonel, but it is in gold, which is a little unusual. You've never heard of that. He says, in the name of Central Coordination, I invite you to Karkari. We are celebrating the ball for Christmas very soon. I hope that you and your highest ranking officers might join us, and indeed, perhaps you might put on a ball of your own. It has been some time since we have had entertainment from outside of our news spheres.
And is there still a time lapse?
Yep.
Okay.
Until you get much, much closer to the planet, it's going to be a while. Right. Your communications travel at almost the speed of light, so.
Yeah, so I think it would be our honor to join you in your celebrations. I will gather my ranking officers and see what we can come up with. It has been a long journey for us, so it will do well for the crew as well to get some rest in our weary travels.
Okay. They send you a care package of the most relevant entertainment that they have. Because they think you might not have had any news or entertainment for a while. It's the complete, recently released album of the Purple Tail Feathers, which is like 3 teenage women who, you know, sing and dance and put on pop concerts. It's a bunch of animation and television show, news shows, reports from the last balls, rumor mongering. For people who have been starved for entertainment for a while, this is pretty much a godsend.
Yeah.
Purple Tail Feathers immediately become hated or loved throughout the fleet very quickly. We're talking it's some real baby chocolate, or what are they called? Baby metal?
No, that's Baby Metal.
Baby Metal, and they did the song Give Me Chocolate. Yeah, it's Baby Metal for sure.
Oh my god. Curiously, and also kind of like in a gesture of sharing, I think we would send them. What's that TV show that we've been? Pride and Royals. That's right. We would send them like the first season, or like the best season that we have of Pride and Royals. That makes sense to.
Highly illegal to do this, but who's going to call you on it?
Yeah, who fucking cares?
You don't have the license to retransmit this, but okay. Your war book,
download a car.
Your war book eventually updates the Pentagon dropship. Is now calling it an M3 drone.
Oh, it is a drone. Shit.
Yeah, it's a drone. It's a orbital suicide drone.
Wow.
It's meant to kill or ram into invaders based on an automatic space defense system.
Wow. So it's actually like a torpedo.
Yeah, it's a torpedo covered in Gauss rifles.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Eric and Gauss rifles don't go together well, so.
No, they don't. Well, they do when I have them. I found in my recent classic Battletech experience. But yeah.
Yeah, as Tywin Lannister said, he who had the Gauss rifles makes the rules.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely like kind of a curiosity from and I think there's Anko at the very least has like 1 or 2 people that are like experts in weaponry, just kind of study those weapons and
study the M3 drones.
Yeah, study the drones and see if we can learn something from it. And make sure that
you can learn a lot from it. A lot of this technology has been lost. I think Artemis 4 is back. ER large lasers are a bit perplexing. The Gauss rifles are confusing. They are pulling the data from the communication system. They're trying to decrypt the drone chatter that basically tells it, turn left,
commands
right,
and stuff like that.
Yeah. this isn't exactly an AI in the way it's not like a general.
It's like a remote drone.
Yeah, it's a remote controlled drone. And you know, it has some basic programming, like if communication is cut off, slam yourself into the nearest enemy at high speed.
But yeah, I think Anko would direct the fleet to follow the parade and welcome, and this would be kind of like a reprieve in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully,
as the Black Wasp that coast to you, they fly in parade formation close enough that you can see that they don't have cockpits.
Yeah, fuck, just all drones.
They're covered in weapons that make them a threat much larger than an aerospace fighter their size should be.
Yeah,
like they easily carry twice as many weapons as they should because they don't have a pilot.
Good.
Lovely.
Wow, yeah.
Lachlan, we already know that you're a fan of Pride and Royals. There is a series that maybe catches your attention. The crew talks about it a bunch, and maybe you catch it and search for it among the Netflix compendium that's sent to you. It's called Curved Swords. It purports to be set on Terra in the 1700s between it's like a vision of Sengoku era Japan that's filled mostly with lesbians fighting each other as samurai, but the main character is a Zero pilot. She flies a Zero aircraft but is also a samurai.
This reminds me of an anime I've seen.
This is I literally just wrote this shit down on my own. So Curved Swords is incredibly popular. It sounds super memey, I know, but actually, like,
so does every anime.
It's more like if Bridgerton was samurai.
Yeah.
It's just to be clear, it's not an anime. This is a live action.
No.
Yeah. This is a live action show.
Again,
it's Bridgerton.
It's a live action anime.
It's Bridgerton, god damn it!
It's a live action anime. I got it.
It's not a live action. Stop. Just stop. This is a man who's gonna make live action Edge Runners a thing, and I'm gonna fucking cry. There's enough. We got Full Metal Alchemist live action. We've already desecrated the name enough. Please, God.
Oh, I thought you were gonna mention Avatar live action, but okay.
They only made one Avatar live action. They made many Full Metal Alchemist live actions.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
It's bad, too. They're horrible. They're truly bad.
Man.
It's almost as bad as the Rurouni Kenshin live action.
Someone's getting mic stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear too. Like someone's fan.
Too.
That means it must be Eddie. if the three of us hear it, it must be Eddie.
Yeah.
It's better now.
Is it better?
Yeah.
It's gone now. It was some kind of feedback or something, but you're good now.
Yeah.
There's like some sort of buzz that's happening near me, but I'm wondering if this is picking it up because it's not doing the B filtering.
It literally sounds like a microwave.
True.
Yeah, there's like a. All right, I'll figure this out.
You're grand. Don't worry about it.
On your way in, you have an opportunity to send any messages you want to the people of Karkri. Talk to anybody that you want. Intercept any communications that you think you can intercept. There's a lot of messages arriving to your crew from... if you remember earlier, we had Lachlan made like civilian communications officers whose jobs were just to like talk to dropship and jump ship pilots and crewmen who were on like long voyages and were driving the traffic controllers insane. Something like that has been set up for you, just in case you're really pathetic and need someone new to talk to.
This is an SLDF.
I'm lying.
Place.
I said really pathetic. That's a very normal thing to want to talk to. Literally, anyone. You've been locked in metal tubes with each other for a year. I apologize. I take that back. If you want to talk to somebody new and you speak either English or Japanese, you can find someone on the ground who will talk back to you.
I want to browse what wares they have. Can I get a double heatsink kit?
You can
Do we have the ability to
browse.
trade with them?
You can browse in something called the Jade Supply. They do not sell military equipment.
Oh, then never mind.
If you send a message to them, they redirect you to something called Gun Club.
I need to. Yeah, I'm looking for military equipment. I'm looking expressly for a DHS kit.
Okay. When you call Gun Club, you get an answer from someone wearing a Star League Defense uniform. They have a major's rank insignia, but it's made out of a piece of steel. And he says, "This is Major Cloud. Am I speaking with Jasper Hiraoka?"
Yes, Major Cloud.
I know you guys think today? I'm making a mockery of the language. They have been speaking Japanese independently for over 200 years. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I don't want to correct him.
Hiroka, though.
Oh my God, Jasper! God damn it!
Right. Well, yeah.
Then he just says normally Yusuf Wheat because
yeah, it's been so long that even I fell for it. Shit. Thanks, man. Thanks, Sam.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, so Major Cloud just asks you. This is Yusuf Wheat.
Affirmative, Major Cloud. How are you doing today?
What's your rank, son?
Sole proprietor
of
a mercenary company.
Mercenaries. I know about these. Interesting.
Indeed.
You walk a path between jade and steel.
Every day.
How many? What is the configuration of your unit?
We roll with a standard 4 lance. I described it's a company size. I don't give them any information on our mechs, of course, but yeah. Is a lieutenant with someone who owns a company?
No, but a lieutenant is someone who commands a lance.
Right. No, that would be major or captain. Because I guess I don't know. I mean, hold on. What would I don't really have I don't belong to a nation, so I don't have a rank.
I mean, you have whatever rank you give yourself, but
yeah. Commander.
Lieutenant.
Listen, I was hoping we could do business, but if we want to talk military history, then I'm afraid I'm gonna have to hang up and reschedule.
What you're asking for, double heatsink technology, we can't make it here anymore.
I see.
We do have a number of very interesting machines you may wish to purchase on planet. I'd be willing to meet with you. Homegrown models. Finest engineering on Karkri.
I'm interested.
I'll be straightforward with you. What I'm talking about are armored fighting vehicles. The kind of things that don't need heat sinks. Turreted vehicles using the best technology we have.
Ah. Well, regretfully, I'm going to have to decline. But I appreciate your time and your effort. And
you could be here for some time, Lieutenant. Maybe you should drop by. We might have much to discuss.
Well, I might be able to pencil in after all.
He gives you a slow nod and then does the Gwent nod thing where he goes back and forth before cutting the comms.
Sick. All right.
Anyone else making planetary? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm gonna let my lance or my pilots know bad news. I'm not sure about these DHS kits. I'm gonna keep hunting. Keep looking them for us.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else making communications with the ground before you arrive? Or anything you want to do on the way down?
I mean, I feel like Anko would certainly want to sit down with the officers and kind of figure out a game plan, and then specifically want to talk with Lachlan to understand what we want to accomplish here with our goals of discovering more about the signal, right? Because this is only like 1 of 3.
This is 3 of 3, I thought.
This is 2 of 3.
2
of 3.
You have the one original that you got back on Bug Planet.
Got it.
Back on Safai.
Okay. Right.
And do we need to like? I can't remember. Did we have to like go somewhere specific to find it, or is it just like we had to stay
in the system
for long enough? So we're getting it now. Like we're good to go.
We think
you believe it to be a jump ship or a close enough object, perhaps a hyperpulse generator message sent at a irregular randomized interval. So what you asked the people on Safai to do, they had data from the last few times it went in, and you were like, "Hey, can you give us those records?"
Right.
Okay.
There's always a chance it could randomly happen while you're here. You don't know how often it happens. More probably, you'll have to just ask the people here for that information.
Lachlan would like to try to reach out to whatever like government exists here.
Okay. You are contacted by Captain Jinjiro of Sencon, which stands for Central Coordination. He has a Star League uniform. It's very casual and relaxed, like unbuttoned sort of deal, and his rank bars are in gold.
Okay.
Who am I speaking with?
This is Count Lachlan McDougal.
Count. What sort of forces do you command, my good Count?
Is this a video or like a phone call?
It's definitely a video call.
Lachlan like chuckles a little bit and just says, well, I suppose that would depend if you mean out here on the periphery or back in my home.
What forces do you command? I'm just trying to determine your rank.
I see.
It's like these fucking ship people have no idea. Why can't they just give me a straight answer?
I guess he'll just say like, he says, I am the regent in charge of the government of Whittington. As such, I have at least indirect command of the entire planet. My personal household also contains considerable forces, a number of mechs as well as tanks and other forces.
Okay. I'm going to tell you something, Sam, out of character.
Okay.
In the days of the Star League.
And this is probably something Lachlan would know because he knows history.
Sure. In the days of the Star League, a regiment was considered a reactionary force. Like if fighting broke out somewhere, they would be like, go send a regiment to scout it out. Nowadays, that would be insane. You would send a lance or a company. You know what I mean? When you say you have a lot of mechs, if this guy's thinking in Star League terms, he could be like, oh, you've got a few divisions.
Which would be like thousands of mechs.
Yeah.
I mean,
in actuality, you're closer to a commander of a battalion if you get... That is super questionable as to whether you are in command of the defenses of... I mean, you're only in command of the defense of Whittington as long as a regular field officer is not available.
Also, in very theory, theoretically, I am in the same way that like the Duchess is in charge of everything on Whittington.
Correct.
But it's like in practicality, I'm not.
If you're looking for a practical answer to give him, you control close to a captain's level of forces, a company worth of personal forces.
I think
if you really want to claim Whittington's, you could say you're closer to. If you want to lie, you could say you were colonel.
I am just going to leave it at I command the forces of a planet and like let the guy fill in what he believes.
Okay. He just addresses you as Colonel McDougal.
And what's this guy's name again? Sorry.
Captain Jinjiro.
Captain Jinjiro
From Sencon.
Captain Jinjiro, I wanted to reach out to make contact, as it seems my fleet may be in your system for a bit of time.
He nods. He expected that would be the case.
I, of course, hope that you wouldn't mind opening your ports to us, as well as potentially engaging in communication and trade. It sounds that there are quite a few things that we may be able to offer one another.
We've been instructed to provide you with honors when you arrive, Colonel.
I see. Instructed by who?
Colonel Goku.
Excellent. I hope I might have a chance to speak to the Colonel sometime in the near future.
I will let him know.
Excellent. How much does Lachlan want? I think Lachlan will just say he will say, while our journey doesn't have any sort of singular goal, we're instead on the periphery for a number of reasons. One of those is identifying a strange signal that we received on the way out here. We're hoping that you might be able to supply any information that you have.
You know enough about this signal that you could back it up with some technical knowledge.
Sure.
And he would just say, yes, we have recorded such a signal several times. It is a jump ship which has arrived in system and left before the SDS could trigger on it.
Interesting. Would you mind sharing that data with our scientists?
I have been instructed to share a lot of data with you, but that particular data has a level of classification that I am not authorized to share. I believe you should talk to Colonel Goku about it.
Excellent. I will do so. Is there anything else you think I should be aware of to help keep my people respecting the local customs and keeping your people happy? We are guests here, after all.
I have a question, Lachlan McDougall.
Yes.
You are a devout New Avalonian Catholic.
That is correct.
Do you have any Christian religious iconography on you or behind you?
Yeah, he's taken to wearing a crucifix.
Okay, that is absolutely unacceptable to that. Yeah, he's just gonna he's not gonna say anything, but he's going to send you a copy of the Amakusa Doctrine, which outlaws on Karkari the worship of any divisive religions. Judaism, Hindu, Christianity, Muslim, all of it has been banned on planet. The only approved forms of worship are Buddhist Shintoism. Because they don't particularly believe in a concept of a god and are in keeping with the unit's traditions and morals. The Amakusa Doctrine, when you're reading it, is definitely a form of internal propaganda. It's meant to convince people who have lived with this their whole life that what they're doing is the right thing.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I guess Lachlan won't wear the crucifix openly then, probably. Yeah, he'll let everyone know.
Okay. This sends Captain Dawson into a apocalyptic rage, but he's not going down on planet to begin with, so.
Yeah, I think that's what Lachlan says is he meets the rage with kind of calm disinterest and is just don't go down there then.
The ship is literally called the Christian. Yep, he's not happy about it.
Lachlan's position is what do you want me to do? Start a war with him right now? That's not what we're doing here.
And I think that's the reason why they believe, divisive religions can be harmful, right? It's because they don't want people's beliefs to get in the way of working together.
When your dropships arrive in orbit, you are directed to go to Congress, which at first you believe might be a building, but as you approach an orbit, it's a Congress-class frigate that has been deorbited onto the planet.
Oh, wow. So they've landed on planet, or...
They've landed a warship, which hasn't been seen in the inner sphere in hundreds of years, and apparently use it as the base of their government.
And I'm sure it's like littered with weaponry in some way, shape, or form, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're approaching it, the weaponry does not appear to be functional. It's even if it was, it itself is in the middle of a city.
Sure.
The city has been built around the ship.
Yeah, I was more thinking of like they needed some sort of establishment when they came here, and this was the fastest way for them to like have all the facilities that they needed. But I also thought maybe they would have defenses as a result because of its frigate. Okay. Yeah, I think like Anko would be talking with officers to see about because so far the only balls that I've experienced in this game is the Kerensky ball, right?
All right, then let me explain what's about to happen here then.
Okay.
Your group is about to undergo a week-long set of balls from Christmas to New Year's Day. Your group will be expected to correctly carry out a New Year's Day ball. You will have to choose who is in attendance, where they're sitting, what the table placements look like, who's sitting with who. This EricVulgaris wanted this minigame, and I have created it. You need to spend your time before the ball figuring out what's good, what's bad. Invite the wrong people, sit them next to each other, use the wrong table cord. Like if the tables are set in a way that they're unfamiliar with or is displeasing, it's going to lower your score. I'm also just going to tell you there are 5 major known factions on this planet. To win the ball minigame, you have to figure out what the 6th faction is.
Ooh. Okay. I'm into this.
You may have noticed so far, everyone introduces himself by a military rank, and they also have a material associated with that rank. You may want to look into that.
Steel, Jade. No, not Jade.
You have seen Jade. You haven't seen Jade, but someone has seen Jade.
Yeah. Okay. So there's been gold, there's been steel, there's been some jade discussed. Interesting. Okay. So there's 6 materials that we're probably looking for in some way, shape, or form. Interesting. All right. So I think Anko would be looking into protocol here.
Okay.
And so
how do you want to do that? This is a society that doesn't have a here's how to protocol book. Nothing like that has been written. All of their knowledge is institutionalized, taught from parent to child by society.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's no how to navigate, how to set up a ball guide.
Right.
You can get the local Starleague Defense Forces, Karkri, manual of operations, which describes the location of various things and like code of military justice and all that stuff. But if you've ever seen the meme lord worthy movie, what's the one where Tom Cruise is a military lawyer?
Not clear and present danger. Yeah, Few Good Men.
Few Good Men. Yeah.
Few Good Men.
He's it's not the Marine Corps handbook does not describe the location of the mess hall or how to get into it, that sort of thing. Like, you can get basic operational knowledge if you're willing to slave through this book. It will not tell you certain things. You'll have to go out and find it.
Got it.
It will take a long time to read that book. It could be useful. It may not be useful. It's up to you.
Well, how long do we have until planetfall? Like, so we're
how long
currently...
do you want to have? I mean, it takes 4 days to get to the planet, so...
So I think, like, in those 4 days, she would have been reading that.
Okay. I would like you to make a science roll, then.
Science roll?
Flat science, very easy. Better results will increase, the amount of knowledge you get out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think of, like, it's probably not investigation because that's a different thing.
It's science.
But that is a skill that I have.
It's science. That's not bad. What's your total?
9 plus.
Well, that's 8
int?
plus. Yeah, int.
Oh, 8. Sorry, 8 plus int. So that's 11.
Okay. You learn the following. There is a strict hierarchy on planet. The lowest rank available is warrant officer. Those who are being punished are demoted to non-commissioned officer. A lieutenant is considered to be the lowest caste of society, and ranks are inherited from your family.
Oh, wow.
There are 5 departments: Central Coordination, Gun Club, the Chaplaincy, the Hall of Teak, and the Jade Supply.
Okay, so can you say that again?
Yes, because I'm also going to describe what each of them does.
Okay.
Gold is Central Coordination. It represents it represents High Command and such. Steel represents what is referred to by the nickname Gun Club, is the operations office. So whatever military machinery and also operating technical stuff is done by Gun Club. So people who drive cars or operate factory lines and such are assigned to the Hall of Steel. Ivory represents the chaplaincy, which is the smallest of all of the departments, and are either Buddhist or Shinto counselors. The Hall of Teak, it looks like, is HR, counterintelligence, and something called MPs, which you think means military police, but is never actually described as anything but MP.
What was that? What was the material?
The Hall of Teak.
Teak.
Their job appears to be the words public order, spiritual purity, and purity of purpose are all written quite often inside that part of the manual. And then the Jade Supply appear to be something like merchants, but also like entertainers.
Oops. All right.
From what you can tell, these people live in a sort of mix of high-tech Star League defense force with like low-tech live on the planet sort of deal. And their population number is also way lower than you would expect from, if they really are who they say they are, which is the 124th Royal Heavy Assault Regiment, and it has been as long as they say it have been, which is like 250 years. There should be hundreds of thousands of them, and there's less than 2,000 people on this planet.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, my cat is trying to like.
It's very strange. They do have some level of automation. You might remember that Jasper, and I do mean Jasper, not Yusuf, found some like semi-automated VI virtual intelligence tech to like run harvesters to help him out. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
They basically, their whole planet runs off of stuff like that. You're not sure whether there's like a central coordinating AI. That's definitely not written in here, but just cross-referencing what you see They basically live the Star Trek dream. These people just have no jobs and spend their whole lives trying to find meaning while getting like free food, free basically infinite power from their fusion reactors. They're defended by nuclear missiles and automated drone systems. They live. That's it. They just live.
Vibing.
That's what you get on a 9.
It's a 11, but yes.
You don't get very much information about how to coordinate a ball.
No, but I mean that was useful because now we at least have the 5 of potentially 6. And now we at least have like an understanding of them, so that's good. But what's the 6th? That's the question. Yeah, so I think like also in that time there would be a sit down with the officers of the fleet, just to like figure out who's going to go, who's not, making sure that the crew is respectful of the customs. So taking information that Lachlan got about the what was the call that was sent. That was sent.
Sorry, I can barely hear you, Eddie. Your like mic quality has suddenly dropped out.
Yeah, I think it switched mics on us.
Is this better?
Yes, much better.
Okay. Yeah, so I think there would be a sit down with officers like in the time as we get ready for planetfall to coordinate on who's going down, who's coordinating the hospitality, who's making sure that the crew has a way to get some R&R while being respectful of customs and not get into trouble, and all that kind of logistics stuff. So I think I would like to have a scene with Yusuf and Lachlan with the rest of the officers, basically like sitting down and having that conversation in some level, to kind of share information that we've gathered as we've talked to different people and potentially come up with a plan of like, how are we going to get the things that we need? Well, maybe learn something from this.
Okay.
And I would love to get some of those fighters. I mean, it would just say those drones. I don't know if I can make them, but
I'd say you already know from Jasper they definitely can't make them anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Jasper, during this meeting of officers, you receive
Jasper.
Yusuf, during the meeting, you receive a message.
Hold on. That's no longer on the Oath of Endosteel bingo. That's just a free space.
Okay. That's you receive a message, Yusuf, asking if you're available for mercenary operations.
Yo, contract?
Yep.
Contract spotted?
Yep.
Obviously, these guys are not mercenary review guaranteed,
You're
right?
Way past the point of mercenary review.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
You're several hundred light years past there.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
This message is anonymous.
I'll hear him out. But no guarantee.
All right. It includes a time and place on planet.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Why not hear it out?
You all land, and there is a massive ceremony that involves a parade up to your landing dropships, a parade to escort you into the Congress, and then ends with a massive tea ceremony. The entire thing takes 6 hours.
This is par for the course for Anko. She's done this many times.
Okay. All right. Lachlan, I feel like this is also old hand for you. It's still agonizing. I mean, they appear to have a very unusual interpretation of what it means to be either Japanese or Draconis Combine compared to what you know. But of course, you have been part of the continuous Draconis Combine border for hundreds of years. These people have evolved their culture in secret, and it appears to mix in a lot of Starly culture as well. So you recognize some parts of these ceremonies, but they speak Japanese with a Texas accent, and it is agonizing for you to hear. They say things like "konbanwa," "wakarimasen ka," and you're just like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, that's what we say in America. No, I'm sorry. I appreciate all the Texans and the Japanese around. That was something.
Something bothers you about the way these people look. For all three of you, you don't know what it is, but it just, something seems off about everyone you meet. Just looking at them, you get this weird feeling about them.
Is it like an article of clothing or like a way that they...
You have no idea.
I have perception. Can I make a roll to see if like Lachlan can notice what it is?
Do you have any points in science?
I have... yeah, I have 5. I have a 5 in science.
Is that because you have an int of 5? Or
no,
have you actually put
an
points
int of 3 and a rating of 2 in science.
Absolutely, make this roll.
Science or perception?
Science, for sure.
Okay. I'm at +5.
Perception will get you something different. Science will get you what this is.
How about I do perception?
That's 8 plus 5 is a 13.
These people are on the... You've seen this in textbooks. They are on the verge of genetic collapse from being too inborn.
Too much. It's the Habsburg problem.
Yep.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Hey, we have another
lovely genetic collapse.
If we do have another genetic pool that's also collapsing.
A bunch of kids.
They're kids, Eric. Children. That makes sense.
I'm gonna leave him.
I don't know that I get this with the 13, but like, can Lachlan estimate how like many generations they would like last?
Absolutely not. Not based off of just looking at them. No.
Okay.
If you got a hold of their DNA sequencing, maybe.
Sure.
Eddie, how's that perception?
See, I got an 8 plus 5. So that's 13.
The people here are pretty friendly. A lot of the people you've talked to on video communication have been wearing full Star League uniforms with buttoned coats. Now that you arrive on planet, you are seeing that almost everyone has full body tattoos that appear to be telling an artistic story.
Interesting.
There is a huge diversity in those tattoos. Symbology seems like it's huge.
Yeah, okay.
The other thing you notice is that they have one functioning Battlemech. Got a lot of tanks, but they only have one remaining functioning Battlemech. It is Atlas 3.
Nice. Okay. Good taste.
Is it got Star League era tech?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I meant Atlas 2. Yes, it's a Star League era tech mech. If you play the Battletech video game, it's what is her name? Camila Arano pilots. Is the Atlas
mine. 2? I can have it. It's mine.
So it's got
for
like
me?
ER large lasers and like LB-10X autocannons, stuff that you haven't really seen that much of.
Except for on the Dragoon.
Pulse lasers. Yeah, I think the Dragoon probably. It's pretty clear this thing is barely holding itself together, right? Like, they've painted it. The armor is fine. The weapons, though, it looks like they have trouble sourcing replacement parts. Like, probably the autocannon almost certainly doesn't work. Just you have tech empathy. When you look at the mech, you're like, yeah, if you try to fire that autocannon, you will blow the whole thing up. Just like, I can see that from here.
Would we be able to repair it with our tech though, or is it like Star League shit that we can't
You would
get?
need to bring it all the way back to Whittington and get it in the mech bay.
Right, they don't have a...
You couldn't do this in the fleet.
Yeah.
Got it, okay.
This is beyond the scope of field repairs.
Yep.
That makes sense.
That's okay. Perhaps we can give them some stuff.
They have a lot of tanks, but the tanks appear to double as passenger vehicles. Like, it would be like if everyone in the world owned a Humvee with a laser turret on top.
Crazy.
Everyone on planet just has a laser turret on top of their vehicle. Oh my god.
I mean, no. It's not like there's just one version of Humvee. There are dozens of vehicles that you see that people get into. There's a lot of like ride sharing, you think? People move in a group. Like sometimes 2 or 3 people will be like get together, talk, and like it sounds like they're going to the same location after the ceremony, so they all get in the same vehicle to go together. It's very weird for you guys because you're Davians and you're nobles, and this is like super weird collectivism shit.
Yeah, it's collectivism, like hardcore community, like yeah. Interesting. Okay, they're heavily tatted, and is there like any inclination with those tattoos that they are tied to some level to the halls that they come from, or is it specific to the individual and not?
I don't think your role's good enough for that. It could be. That's a possibility.
Okay.
The final scene for today is there's a moment where no one is looking at Lachlan, and someone shoulder checks him and whispers in your ear, Shibboleth, and then gestures for you to follow them.
Wait, into my ear after shoulder checking Lachlan? Or okay, yeah, he'll follow.
Okay. When you enter the alleyway that this man goes into, there's like a group of 6 people here, all holding crosses. And they say, "Is it still alive? Is faith in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ still alive?"
I think like Lachlan will say yes, and he'll like start describing New Avalon Catholicism. Like
all 6 of them they pull you into a prayer circle where everyone is holding hands, and one of them begins reciting the Lord Prayer, and they are all openly weeping with joy. And that's the end of this episode. Go ahead and give yourself 5 experience points.
Wow!
Yay! I earned back. I mean, you know me, I never turn down religious zealot followers in role-playing games.
What's the name of this system? Carky?
Carky? C-A-R-C-R-I.
We're in 3038. Is that right?
Carky. C-A-R-K-E-Y.
Tomorrow's Christmas.
K-R-I it ends with them.
I'm just making
C-A-R-C-R-I. Carky.
Yeah.
Carky.
Please stop doing that. You're not Australian. You're so close to cracky. Yeah. So we're investigating the story of what if the 124th Royal Assault Battlemech Regiment wasn't lost and wasn't stupid. So the part that gets me in Battletech fiction, it was written by a racist, because they're like, the 124th love Japan so much, they love Japan culture, and the people of Japan in the Draconis Combine hated them. And I'm like, that's not even close to how that works. People in Japan love it when you enjoy Japanese culture. The people who don't like that are fucking racists.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
I'm super tempted, since they only have one mech, to just take all their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We have a lot more mechs. I'm just saying.
We do have a lot more mechs. They have tanks, and they have the crazy fleet defense.
They have a nuclear missile.
Right, but that's not like super helpful for.
Well,
if you're a threat to their entire existence, I think a nuclear missile is pretty helpful.
I mean, sure,
Yeah.
but
just listen. I'm not saying this isn't a plan.
What I mean is,
at
most the nuclear missile forces a stalemate.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Listen, you're playing a game of diplomacy. All right, I'm here for it. You better be sure before you better listen. You better hit this shot. Because the fail state on this is nuclear missile.
I'm
mutually
just
assured destruction.
We haven't made any decisions yet. Okay.
This would be a great way to pick up some double heat sinks to bring back to the inner sphere and go, hey, look at these working double heat sinks I've got.
True.
Also,
True. And
just
the
extended range PPCs, though.
I mean,
the Atlas 2 doesn't have ER PPCs.
Well, that's what you said.
No, the extended range long lasers.
Oh.
Large lasers.
Large lasers.
I don't think those. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna convince them that the Atlas 2 is all hunk of junk.
You won't have to work very hard to convince them that.
Yeah, just give it to us.
I'm gonna be honest. If they see your mechs, they're gonna go, "It's a what?" You guys,
fine, dude. 1v1 me, dude.
You guys are using. Oh, you really want to 1v1 that thing?
You just said that if it fires its main gun, it'll explode.
It has a lot of guns.
It has a lot more guns, though.
It's 100-ton mech. You think one LB-10X is its full weapons complement? Forget that. It'll get in a close range. It'll just hit you and you'll die. You'll die instantly. You'll just punch you and you'll die. You'll kill the moon.
Nah, I can just keep walk backwards and fire my LRMs.
That's true. You can't outwalk an Atlas 2 very easily.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the next time we can meet so that these Patreon people will stop pulling my hair out.
Tomorrow.
That's fair.
Okay, not tomorrow.
Okay.
That's
not next Sunday for me because I've got a commitment then. But what about 2 weeks from now? Can we say yes?
I can say yes to the dress.
2 weeks from now is what date?
The 9th.
The 9th of October?
That should be fine.
Yes, of October.
I don't have anything.
Very well.
I believe
Fantastic.
I'm good too.
Any closing thoughts here?
I'm very curious about these drones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can look them up. Black Wasp and the M3.
I'm happy to be back in the cockpit, so to speak.
I mean,
I miss this game.
You could be hired to do some mercenary work on planet.
It's true.
Yeah. I'd rather farm that out to my 4 mechs, my four guys.
We'll see. Wait until you hear the deal. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. In general, I'm enjoying taking a step back and being a commander rather than.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I didn't want to have a mech fight.
We're playing Warhammer. Yeah, I'm auto resolving.
You tried beating the new Immortal Empires campaign without auto resolving.
I'm waiting for the Empire to join in, and then once the Empire faction's in there, then I'm actually gonna commit to that game.
Empire factions are in there.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Oh well, shit. Okay, well, see you, everyone.
Nice
knowing you. My life's over.
Spoon's playing an Empire game.
Oh well,
he's getting absolutely rolled, but he finally managed to reunite the Empire. Now he has to go get the other 250 provinces that are 10 times the size.
All right. Full disclosure: I've never played a Total War game.
Yikes!
So
I don't know what to do with that. I used to be rank 99 world in Total War Shogun 2.
Oh wow!
That was almost 20 years ago.
Oh well, there's only 20 people online playing that game, so
there were thousands of people playing that game. Stop hating.
Literally dozens. Yeah.
Literally dozens of us.
Oh my god, some shade being thrown.
My announcement is that I'm launching 2 new wargaming playtests. One is Patreon only, and that is Project Athena. And then there's one that's open right now if you're a member on Discord, but probably you've already seen it. It'll be a show soon, maybe. The Megamech Council for people who play Battletech Megamech. I'm stringing together a campaign where one person is playing the overall commander and everybody else is playing individual lances where they are assigned targets and missions, and how that all plays out. Anybody else got any projects to announce? All right, folks, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone that, for coming, and thank you, my players, for, dear God, it's been so long, and we should catch up next time at the start. I just wanted to make sure we ended exactly where we ended, which was the Shibboleth.
Yeah. Oh.
Sibboleth, sorry.
Yeah.
You have to say it
Very
right.
curious.
That's literally
curious.
the whole purpose of the proverb is to say Sibboleth correctly. Yeah. All right, that's it.